Linda, it's nice to visit with you again. Thanks for
Good.
making time for us.
Yeah, good morning. Glad to see you again as well.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure. So, how has your spring been? And are you going to get to go bear hunting?
Ah, well, we'll start with that. I just got the disappointing news yesterday that it's probably not going to happen. Obviously, I go to Canada every spring,
Mm,
and it doesn't look like the border's going to open. So, didn't make it last year, not going to this year. The
hmm
good news is that gives those bears 2 years to grow. So, I'm assuming next year will be an awesome year to go up there.
Yeah, that's disappointing. I got the same news on my British Columbia black bear hunt on Vancouver Island,
Oh,
and
no.
yeah, so that was supposed to be last fall,
Right.
um, and so we're this is like the third time it's been postponed. So it's just man, I don't know. It's crazy to think that one can go to Africa, but one can't go to Canada.
Exactly. Hey, I did come down to Texas though last week.
How was
Uh,
it?
down in the McAllen area, turkey hunting.
Did you get a gobbler?
I sure did. Yeah,
It's awesome.
it was tough hunting. I think maybe that cold snap that came through kind of delayed everything for the spring. They were still really in big groups, not very responsive to calling, but
Hmm.
we did pretty well. And I was actually shooting the 410 first time that I've turkey
Oh
hunted
wow,
with the 410.
nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I am heading down there in let's see, next weekend, a weekend after Easter. So yeah,
Should be
um,
should be perfect. I got a report that the group after us had a little more success. They were a little more responsive. So your timing should be just right.
I can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. Um, so let's talk about what we're seeing in the marketplace right now. Are people still buying guns at the crazy rate that they have been over, say, well, starting with this time last year when we had societal issues, BLM, plus you throw in a pandemic? Has that trend started to slow down, or are we kind of still on the same path that we've been on?
We don't see any slowdown at all.
Uh-huh.
And I've been in the business for close to 25 years now, and I've never seen a spike like this that's sustained as long as it has. And we're hitting milestones in company history that we never have before, as far as like number of guns on order and backlogs. And we get feedback from our dealers and retailers, and they're telling us that they're not sensing any slowdown at all either. And if you go into a local store, you're seeing that
Yeah.
your options are slim to none.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, I guess this new administration probably just is, adding fuel to the fire with what they've publicly said. We've got HR 8 on the table. It's sitting in the Senate right now. Universal background checks, and I'm wondering. Biden said he's going to reenact the assault weapons ban. So are ARs flying off the shelves even faster, or are they back ordered to the point where it doesn't make any difference?
I think what we're seeing, it doesn't make any difference, at least from my perspective.
Uh huh.
That's one category that we build. Maybe if you were just strictly an AR manufacturer, you may have a better feel for that. But we're finding all across all of our categories, it doesn't seem to matter what gun, what platform, they're all selling. What we see is someone goes in with the intention of maybe they want to buy a shotgun for home defense. But when they get in there and all there is a turkey gun or a waterfowl shotgun, they'll buy those.
Uh huh.
Same thing, maybe they go in with the idea of getting a handgun and there aren't any available. So they buy a shotgun. So I think it's, like I said, a scenario that we've not really seen before.
Yeah. It's interesting. And you said, and so I've got my turkey gun right here.
Yes,
And you
sir.
said that you can't get these right now due to the fact that they're also being, purchased at a accelerated rate for home defense.
Yeah. What's interesting is, obviously part of my job is I put together media hunts and take you guys out in the field for trips. I'm even finding it difficult for me to find guns for those hunts,
Wow.
much less finding the ammunition. So now it's a matter of kind of going out and sourcing what ammunition can I find, and
Yeah.
then trying to locate guns. So it's definitely challenging right now.
I was gonna that was my next question. Is it caliber specific? Like, are there certain calibers that are in higher demand because you can find ammo?
Well, I think that's, what I'm hearing. Some of this is just, I'm hearing secondhand, but I think what happens is people are going in now and whatever they see on the shelf as far as ammunition, that's what they're trying to purchase as far as guns. So some of the more obsolete ones probably are your better choices right now. All the popular calibers, whether it's centerfire rifle or handgun, um, they're just not available.
Hmm.
And same thing, shotguns, taking a 410, a little challenging to find 410 ammunition.
Right.
Probably the better choice would have been 12 gauge, but that's in short demand too.
Well, I mean, this all came to a head for me. I was at a Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation banquet in Fort Worth on Friday. They're doing the live auction, and they had a $4,000 Weatherby custom, high end Weatherby gun there.
Right?
Well, it was a 6.5 Weatherby RPM. That gun went for $1,000 because everyone was like, "How are we going to get ammo for that? And if we do find it, it's going to be $200 a box." So
Exactly.
nobody wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I hadn't thought of it from that perspective, but that does become challenging for fundraising efforts.
yeah,
It's
for
almost like you need to put together the package of the firearm with the ammunition.
right, right. Um, let's talk about the new the 940 auto loading platform, semi-auto.
Yes.
This will replace the 835, the 935. I know you guys are very excited about this. It is available for in the competitive shooting, or what I would call skeet or clay shooting realm right now, but still not available for hunting purposes.
Correct. Let me just correct one thing. It's actually not going to be replacing the 835 because that's our pump action.
Oh,
So
sorry. Yeah.
that's all right. It'll be replacing, we'll be eventually phasing out the 930 line as we introduce the new
Uh-huh.
940. And currently, you're right, we only have the 940 JM Pro, which is the competition gun, but might have been field testing last week when we were turkey hunting to
Oh,
a 940 field gun.
nice.
So I anticipate that as we roll into fall seasons, definitely waterfowl, we should have some field versions of the gun available. Um, and I think two things that I'm really excited about, well, maybe two plus, but the two features that I really love is first of all, it has a new gas operating system that's somewhat self cleaning because it has,
Linda, I hate cleaning my guns, so
oh,
this is
oh, me
great.
too. Well, my favorite line, and I probably have told you this before, I love working for a gun company because my gun gets dirty. I just turn it in and get another one. I love cleaning guns, but this is such an improvement because autoloaders tend to be kind of finicky anyway and require maintenance more so than pump actions.
Hmm.
And our recommendations on the 930 was about after 250 rounds, you probably should clean the gun. We're saying now that with the new 940, you'll be able to go up to as much as 1,500 rounds
Oh my gosh.
before needing to clean. So that to me is a bonus.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing, I'm a little bit shorter in stature, and traditional length of pull is just too long for me. And many semi-autos, our 930 is one of them. Some of the recoil system, the springs are in the stock, so you're not able to shorten them. But they redesigned the system so the 940 actually has an adjustable length of pull stock. So that's a bonus too. You can go from 13 to 14 and a quarter inches. It's also adjustable for drop and cast. So you really can pretty much custom fit the gun to you.
Okay. That's perfect. Perfect. Yeah, well, so what is the other pump? So there's the 835, then you have is it the 500? What is
The
it? The
500. So our pump categories are the 500, which is the 12 gauge 3 inch.
right.
835 is the 12 gauge 3.5 inch.
Which is what my turkey gun here is
Yes,
based off
and you've
the
got my
835.
favorite, the tactical turkey.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I have been shooting that for years. I finally gave it up this year, but I've been shooting the 20 gauge version, the
Uh-huh.
500. But I love that adjustable stock. It's a little bit lighter weight too, which I like when you're, really hoofing it across the field. Carrying the 12 gauge is a little heavier, but that tactical stock and setup makes it a little bit lighter. But
Yeah.
my favorite gun.
My first turkey I ever killed, like, oh, I don't know, 13, 14 years ago. I had to borrow my buddy's 500
Right?
because I wanted something with a 3.5 inch capability, and I didn't have anything that I could do that with. So he's like, "Here's the deal: you can borrow it, you cannot clean it. He's like, I've never cleaned it, and I'm not starting now. Don't fix it if it's not broken. So, yeah, I've shot my first turkey with that thing, and yeah, he's used it as a boat paddle. I mean, he dropped it in the mud. He's like, don't clean it. It's never been cleaned. I don't want to start now.
That's the
So,
beauty of a pump action. They are so reliable, and I've heard those stories of using them to paddle boats quite a few times, even retrieving them off the bottom of the lake. When
yeah,
someone's dropped it in, and they still work. So if you're
yeah,
looking for reliability, you can't go wrong there.
yeah. And that's so. Is that the how long has the 500 been around?
Oh, well, we celebrated 50 years. Let's see, back in about 5 years ago. So we're at
Okay.
about 55 years now,
Wow.
and over 11 million produced.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
there are a lot of 500s out there in various configurations, but I think that speaks volumes to how reliable, dependable, and it's an affordable option for a lot of people too, and the versatility because you start switching out barrels and you can really have one gun that does it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I saw this stat, this meme the other day. It said, so I guess the US population is like 5% of the global population. And the meme was like, we only own 45% of private firearms. These numbers suck. We need to get those up. So,
I couldn't agree more.
um, why is the 9 millimeter seem to be, I mean, that seems to be like if you were trying to get a pistol, that might be the one you can get. You can still get ammo. Because for a while I thought, and for me, like I like 45,
Right.
and I thought the 45 was like inching up there. But when what we've seen throughout this pandemic is no, it's all back to 9 millimeter.
And it actually started even before the pandemic because when we started doing our research before we got back into handguns, looking at the MC1 and the MC2, research showed that the 9 millimeter has really been gaining popularity for probably the last 4 or 5 years,
Uh huh.
if not more so. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with developments in ammunition. There's really been tremendous improvements there. And so it's kind of a trade off. You get a little bit less recoil. It's more comfortable for people to shoot the 9 millimeter, but you're not really losing much in performance. And I think that's really key in handguns. You've got to be comfortable shooting it. And I think as we have more first time newer gun owners, if you have women, youth, or, I fit into this category being a woman and being older, just the comfort of shooting, a 9 millimeter for me and being able to manipulate the gun. So, it really has grown in popularity, but I think it's like anything else. You see calibers become more popular. Look what's happened with the 6.5 on the rifle side.
Right.
Why does a particular gun or caliber gain popularity? It's hard to say, but you kind of see the momentum build and it knocks off some of the long-standing old cartridges. So,
Yeah. Well, like the first handgun I ever purchased years ago was a 40 cal,
right?
and that one it seems to be like caught in between the 9 and the 45, and it's kind of been left by the wayside a little
Yes,
bit.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think that's one of them that has gone the opposite direction. I wanted to tell you briefly, and a lot of the listeners have already heard about my buffalo hunt, but the 375 Ruger
Yes.
uh, Patriot that
I
you
saw
you
pictures,
sent
so
me.
I definitely want to hear about it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I know you've taken buffalo, and it was it was surreal. It was everything that I'd hoped it would be. Um, Old bull by himself, hard bossed, and my PH got the binos out, and I think we stalked him from 1,400 yards. So we got into within 75 before the bull would turn his head to where he could see and make sure
Oh,
that the
wow.
bosses were, something that he would be proud to shoot himself. That's basically their standard. And yeah, that animal is the toughest animal that I've ever shot. Had to shoot him 4 times. Every shot connected, and he still ran 200 yards, and we were running after him.
Yeah.
Which the PH was like, I have two ways I do it. If I can see the buffalo, we're running after him. If he goes into the thick stuff, we're gonna wait a while.
Yeah.
So
I don't know of any hunt that's more exciting because you realize, like you said, such a massive animal, their strength. Like you said, you shot him 4 times and he didn't go down,
mhm.
It's
that
just
was
incredible.
1,200 grains that he ate,
Yeah,
and
it's
yeah,
just incredible, and I've had the experience of where they disappear and you get to go kinda look for them, and there is
yeah,
nothing that just takes your breath away more than that. I'm telling you, your heart's pounding,
uh-huh,
every sense that you have is on high alert, but, they're an incredible animal, and I'm glad you got one.
yeah, yeah. Well, the gun, performed flawlessly, and was very excited to be able to find ammunition for that. Uh, so thanks to Hornady for helping me out there. Um, as we wrap up here, and I might be putting you on the spot. I don't know, but
You're
I
good at doing
believe I know.
that.
I believe there's some noise that maybe we're going to be expanding the pistol lineup as well.
Yeah, we're definitely in that category now. There's no question about it. And we really have been extremely pleased with how well the MC1 and MC2 have been received. And I think this fall we might be ready to expand on that category. So you're just going to have to
Awesome.
be patient and wait.
All right. Well, I am sorry that you're not going to get to go bear hunting this fall. I mean, this spring. Neither am I. But congratulations on your turkey down here in Texas.
Thank you. I'm gonna head to Mexico in a few weeks too and try to get a Gould's turkey.
Okay. What part of Mexico is that?
Sonora.
Okay. Right on. I think do they have Coues deer there?
They do. I'm
Okay.
learning
Buddy's trying to get me on a go on a Coues deer hunt with him next December, and I'm kind of
I
like,
would highly recommend it. This ranch that I hunt turkeys on has coos deer as well, and I've done that hunt a few times, and it's absolutely one of my favorite hunts.
yeah, it's such a little deer. I mean, like 120-inch Coues deer is like you're going in the record book type deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy coming from Texas whitetail hunting, but certainly a different species, one that you can pursue. I guess kind of like mule deer hunting in the mountains and stuff.
Right. It's very optics intensive. You're going to spend a lot of time glassing, and you're just looking like they bed down. And you're looking like for a flick of an ear, just
Mm,
some little something in the landscape that looks different. And then most of the time, a long shot. Occasionally, you'll get an opportunity to stalk a little bit closer, but it's definitely that 3 to 500 yard shots, pretty common.
yeah. Um, I also wanted to say that despite the perceived gun shortage, well, we
Yes.
just can't keep up with the demand. We're still going to give away a few guns this year, so
Yes, we are. So stay
yeah,
tuned for that.
awesome. Well, we will keep you in the loop on that, Linda. Thank you so much for your time today. Always great to visit with you.
You too. Good luck
Uh,
on your turkey hunt.
Thank you. Have a good one.